YouTube again. All right, we back with another video. Anyways, we reacting. Today, we got some Chop. I made a video reacting to Chop. I really enjoyed his takes, even though I had some disagreements with it. But overall, I think his opinions on Call of Duty are healthy for the COD community, not necessarily for people that like more modern, more realistic shooters, which is kind of what Call of Duty is kind of going for with the whole animation system and stuff like that. But overall, I agree with Chop a little bit, but I understand where his complaints and stuff are coming from. I played Modern Warfare 2 beta again yesterday, and I absolutely loved it. I like playing third person, so I'm casual. I pretend it's so calm. I'm enjoying it. But I also like the invasion. I think that's what they call it now. Instead of ground war, it's invasion. I like that. I just wish the maps were bigger and they had more 30v30 instead of just 20v20. Hopefully they have better maps, more urban environment. But here's Chopper's video, The Hard Truth About Call of Duty. Let's see. Everybody that's playing Call of Duty, they absolutely are hating the multiplayer. I gotta see why.
So the past couple days for Modern Warfare 2 have been pretty interesting. Twitter has had a lot to say about the state of the game. And what's interesting about Modern Warfare 2 is many people's complaints and issues right now have nothing to do with the actual core gameplay itself, which, for a AAA title in the year of our Lord 2022 is pretty unexpected. The biggest problem right now that people seem to be mauling over on Twitter is skill-based matchmaking. And this seems to be the one thing that people claim is preventing them from enjoying modern.
Bro, they're still complaining about skill-based matchmaking. Here's the thing with skill-based matchmaking. My opinion of it, and I think my opinion's right. The reason why skill-based matchmaking is important is because bad people like me don't have to get completely destroyed every time they play the game. And another thing why skill-based matchmaking is bad for y'all, the sweats, the good people, is because everybody has gotten good at Call of Duty that's played Call of Duty. COD has been released every year for the past 10 plus years now. You think you're the only one that's gotten good? All the esports, all the YouTube videos, it's not abnormal for there to be more good people in Call of Duty. That's why whenever you get sweaty and you get good, skill-based matchmaking is going to put you with more people at your level. And you're like, oh, these guys are sweaty. Bro, you're sweaty. That's why you're running against other sweats. And you're like, oh, I just want to casually relax and just kill people. Well, bro, I don't know what to tell you. You're too good. You're too good. If you want to shit on people, you're just going to have to get better than the people you're already going against, I guess. Because I don't know what to tell you, bro.
Modern Warfare 2 as much as they could, and for the full release of the game, this is speculated to be the biggest.
SBMM is tiring. Already cheaters. Cheats available. Refuse to add normal minimap, which is what 99% of the community prefers. Dev errors and consistent crashes on PC. Okay, so SBMM, that's not going to change. Already cheaters? Now that's bad. That's terrible. They need to actually fix that. That's not good. The game's not even out, and people are already cheating. That's absolutely terrible. Refuse to add normal minimap. Now, my opinion on the minimap, I don't really care because I don't play COD like that. But like they were saying, which you're constantly looking at the minimap from older COD titles. Whenever somebody shoots, they pop up on the minimap. I mean, honestly, I don't know. I have no opinion on that. It makes no difference for me personally, but I can get why you guys are frustrated about it. Dev errors and consistent crashes on PC. The PC optimization, if it's that bad, then that's bad. They need to fix that. There's no excuse for bad PC ports nowadays. A lot of games have good PC ports, and bad PC ports were a thing back when like Mortal Kombat X was around, and that was like 5 years ago now, something like that. So they definitely need to step that up. But the no SBMM, That's here to stay.
Upcoming problem, let's say. So today I want to talk about the hard truth of Call of Duty and why, unfortunately, a lot of the presented potential solutions for the problem of skill-based matchmaking just I really don't think are going to work in Call of Duty. But I do believe I have somewhat of an unpopular opinion when it comes to this entire skill-based matchmaking situation.
Let's hear it.
And I've talked about, bits and pieces of this before, but it's gotten so prevalent right now where it seems like this is the only thing that's on my Twitter feed that I felt like I wanted to make a full video about this. I'm going to try to make my argument as clear and concise as possible, and let me be, super clear as well. You don't have to agree with me on this stuff. The very least you could do is just hear me out. It's just a little bit unfortunate because I think that the community all at the end of the day wants what's best for the game. If we can start there and, maybe we disagree on solutions, that's fine, but at least allow me the good faith to know that I want what's best for the game as much as you do. So as anything is important to get right, we need to get our definition straight first and foremost. Yep. SBMM, or skill-based matchmaking, is the concept where the game will put you with players in your lobby roughly around your same skill level. Yeah. And this basically means that if you are a good player, let's say, it's going to put you against primarily other...
If you're a sweat,
they're good players.
You're going to play with sweats.
Or people who, are around the same skill bracket as you. And it's not like skill-based matchmaking is some nebulous concept that we can't really prove. Like, Infinity Ward and basically every other studio and Activision have told us flat out skill-based matchmaking does exist. It's real. Yeah. It exists in various forms, we'll say, but it's pretty much been in Call of Duty forever. Like, this isn't a brand new thing, but it's becoming more and more of an issue for people as time goes on. But I don't think that's necessary.
And that's because everyone is getting good. It's an issue the longer it goes on because everybody is getting good. Everybody's a Twitch streamer. Everybody's a YouTuber. Everybody is showing off that they are the best, right? It's hard to be the best when you're going against the best. It's easy to be the best when you're going against people that play casually. And I get it. You guys don't want it in casual. You guys only want SBMM in ranked. If there's only SBMM in ranked, every salty person that thinks they're the best is just going to go to casual and have their ego inflated. Oh, I'm the best. But they're not going to go to rank because they know they're going to get their shit pushed in.
Necessarily a result of skill-based matchmaking, and I'll get to that in a second, but the biggest pushback against skill-based matchmaking in Call of Duty is that it takes away a lot of the casual fun that COD's been known for. Like, people trying way too hard, like there's money.
The casual fun COD's been known for is gone. Ever since FaZe started uploading those trick shot sniper montages, ever since then, the game changed. It's no longer that. It's no longer casual. It completely changed as soon as they started putting $1 million prize pools for this game. It's not the same. Gaming in general has changed since 2005. It's not the same. It's never going to be the same. The casual fun you had back with the homies is the only way you're going to have that fun again is if you and your homies are still just playing together. That's the only way. You're not going to ever get that experience. It's gone. You guys got to just move on.
Line and in public matches and stuff. What it also means,
and it sucks. I'm not on a high horse or anything because I wish I could just go back to the old Modern Warfare 2 days, just have fun with randoms and it'd be a close game every time. That's not gonna happen. Yesterday I played Call of Duty for about 2 hours. I won like 3 games. One was absolutely stomping the other team on the 20 versus 20. And then the other times that I won, it was pretty much close games, right? So that's the SBMM. The first game I played, we pushed the other team. And then the next round, we played against another team because, it refreshed the server, which I don't think they should do. I honestly think they should keep it because that's how you build camaraderie and friendship is by playing together. So they should keep that, but if they do that, it's going to be harder for SBMM. So you got to take the good with the bad, right?
Is when it plays or when it pairs you up with people that are your skill level, they're likely to use the same weapons as you, and this can take away a lot from the sandbox experimentation, using different weapons and trying out fun setups. Everybody's using the meta and wants to try hard that way. People have also claimed that skill-based matchmaking tends to prioritize player skill over lobby connection, and I don't think that argument has too much weight. There's been some instances and maybe which that holds a little bit of truth, but for the most part, connection is always prioritized prioritized. I think we can like prove that literally as well. But and especially in Modern Warfare 2, if skill-based matchmaking is truly in effect, it certainly isn't prioritized.
The only way that will work is after the game dies off. So like 2 games from now, when Modern Warfare 2 is like 2 or 3 years old and there's only so many players playing, that's when the SBMM would be a problem when it comes down to connection and skill.
Prioritizing skill over connection, because connections compared to other Call of Duty games have been really good in Modern Warfare 2. Let's just call it what it is. They've been great. And I think this is what leads a lot.
I haven't had any problems, and I live in Asia. I don't live in America. I don't got the American server. I don't got the LA server, the Dallas server. I don't have all the servers around my area. I live in Thailand. The closest server I got to me is most likely going to be China or Japan. In other games, I check my server, it says Indochina. Like, I'm not the closest person to the server. You know what I'm saying? I'm not the farthest away. Like, I'm not in Guam or anything, but I'm not the closest to the server. And I've been having, out of all the games I played, I had one game where it looked like connection issues. I don't know what type. I thought it was the beta acting up, honestly, because it wasn't just me lagging. It was like the whole world was like stuttering and lagging. So I'm gonna assume it was because it's a beta, but I don't know.
A lot of people to believe that skill-based matchmaking just as a pure theory is flawed and something that's inherently negative. But I'm going to make the argument, or at least think about it this way just for a second and entertain me, that skill-based matchmaking as a concept isn't the issue to blame. Let's go back to the most basic definition of skill-based matchmaking. You know, it's, again, the system in which a game will pair you up against players your skill level. Just flat out, basically, the most bare-bones terms, that's what skill-based matchmaking is. Then the follow-up question to that would be, are there games in which skill-based matchmaking as a system is actually preferred? And the answer to that is yes. Now, why? Well, first of all, think about why is Call of Duty fun to you? Think about it for a second. Like, 99% of us, Call of Duty is fun because getting kills and getting kill streaks in this game is very satisfying. Obviously, that's not what it's all about, but for the most part, the core gameplay loop of Call of Duty...
I like winning. That's why I play games like Hardpoint and games like, what's the one with the 3 flags? I like winning. I don't really care if I get the kills. Like, honestly, when it comes down to shooting games, I'm more preferably playing support. I like being the support. I like throwing out the stuns and stuff like that. I see people play and they have the stem, so because they're only solo players. They only worried about themselves. I like having the ammo box and putting out ammo and seeing everybody grab some. That's what I like to do. That's what fills my dopamine, but I'm not the average player.
Duty is just centered around getting kills and rewarding you thus with kill streaks. That is literally what set it apart as a FPS at the time, and the existence of the kill streak system itself should be evidence to that fact. That's like what Call of Duty's gameplay is built on. I just want you to think about where the enjoyment and the fun is to be derived from in a game, and in Call of Duty, just like when you're looking at the just sheer gameplay, you know, you can boil it down to getting kills and kill streaks is literally the essence of this game, and that's why it's fun, essentially. And this means Call of Duty lobbies are optimal when you've got like a big randomized bunch of like good and bad players, right? Like, I think we could...
I do agree for like a big mode like the Invasion, the 20v20, it is definitely better to have a mix. Like, have 5 good people on each team and then the rest be spread out. And if you're going to have these smaller modes, which is like, what, 7v7 or something like that for normal TDM, have 2 good players on each team. That's the most fun you can have, honestly. Like, forget SBMM. That would be the ideal. 2 amazing players on each team that go like 20-4, right? Amazing. And everybody else is like mixed in.
We can all pretty much agree.
But on top of that, they also have to add the kill, like the ending round, because it used to be 100 and now it's down back to 75. I think that ends the game too early, personally.
To that concept as well, and skill-based matchmaking is presented as the idea where it roughly groups you up in people your skill level, thus making kill streaks may be harder to come by. But just hold all that in your mind for a second. I want to compare this game to a game that I play a lot of that where skill-based matchmaking is actually preferred. Clearly, SBMM isn't preferred in Call of Duty, but let's look at something like Smash, for example.
Crazy.
And you might think, hey, this kind of
crazy. That play right there
in Call of Duty.
He's checking and then
but
jump,
let's look at something like
Smash,
Smash, for example.
God,
and you might
so
think, hey, this is kind of out of left field. Why are you bringing up Smash? It's a totally different game. And yes, you would be right.
Smash
I always
Bros.
say
Is like
Smash is the exact opposite to Call of Duty when it comes to its approach for matchmaking, where SBMM in this game is preferred like in every case because the game
It's also a fighting game. When you're playing a fighting game, it's just you versus somebody else. If you lost, there's very little things you could blame it on. You could blame it on connection issues if you want to, but if it really wasn't, you're just looking like a little baby. And it's just, are you good? Are you good enough to beat this one person one on one? It's a dance. It's just you versus them. In Call of Duty, there's a variety of things that could become a win or a victory. You know what I'm saying? Whether you have good teammates or not, whether they play the objective or they just go for kills, connection issues. There's several different things that go on with it. Any game that requires multiple people, you can blame your loss on a variety of factors, right? In a fighting game one on one, that's not the case.
Game is boring without it. In fact, I remember on Twitter like 2 years ago, there was a COD Pro and a Smash Pro disagreeing about skill-based matchmaking, and I think they were both missing the point because the games that they play respectively are two totally different kinds of games. So, the theory was like skill-based matchmaking sucks for Call of Duty players. That's true. Skill-based matchmaking is preferred in Smash. That's because where the fun is derived from is totally different. Again, we established the fun for the most part in Call of Duty is derived, when you're doing well, you're getting kills, kill streaks, that kind of thing. In Smash, the fun is derived from the dance of the game. If you've never played like high-level Smash or really like, or even like
Any
chess,
fighting game,
something
bro.
that is also
Any
very
fighting
comparable,
game.
the game is the most fun when you're challenged optimally. Because this game's satisfaction is derived from like reading and reacting to like your opponent's patterns and stuff, and just like learning how they play as an individual, and it's kind of like literally it's kind of a dance,
how he's
and
using his
that
own
is where
footage
the fun
for
comes
Smash
from.
Bros.
Of course, it's more satisfying to win, but again, you can still get your ass whooped in this game and have a great time. That is not true
Yeah.
in Call of Duty, and in fact, it's
Several times I've lost in a game of Street Fighter 4, and I was just like, man, that was so fun. It was so close. It was neck and neck. We were on the final round, bro, and he got it. Oh, man, GG. GG. You just got to say GG and run it back. It's more intense because it's just you versus someone else. Am I better than this person? Or can I win this match against this person?
it feels satisfying to sweat in Smash
But
because
I feel the same way when I play Call of Duty too. If it's a close game, it's like, oh, it's a close game. We got to do this. Like you can literally, I feel myself. Okay, I got to carry the team. I got to do this because if I don't, I can't rely on these other people. You know what I'm saying? So it feels good that way. But whenever it's a stomp, it's fun, but it's not the same enjoyment. Like me on a team that's absolutely stomping, it's like, whatever. Next, after I get a kill, next. When it's like close neck to neck, it's like, okay, I got this kill. Okay. Oh, get ready for the next person. Like I gotta be focused. I'm trying to win. When you're trying to win, it feels so much better than just stomp next, stomp next, stomp next.
the enjoyment is derived from a totally different place.
Ironically, I feel the exact opposite when it comes down to games like Dark Souls. Whenever I'm stomping bosses in Dark Souls, when I feel like the boss, I feel so good. I guess because it's AI, it's like, yeah, I'm above you, boom, bam, bop. But I don't feel that enjoyment whenever I'm going against people online. It's not the same feeling for me.
Whereas as it feels kind of exhausting to sweat all the time in Call of Duty, I think we can all pretty much agree to that as well. So in that Twitter argument I was showing you, I would say,
Are you playing Call of Duty all day? That might be your issue. Play something else or go outside, I guess. Like, I play COD, I'll play like 2 hours is great. Like, literally, I was having a good time streaming Call of Duty yesterday. But after 2 hours, I was like, okay, I'm COD out. I'm having fun, but let's take a break. Let's do something else. If you guys are playing all day, unless it's like your job, you guys gotta have another game to play, or else you will get tired of it. I mean, I guess that's why COD is so successful. You guys play Call of Duty every day, all day, and you guys eventually get to the point where like, oh, I'm so tired of this game. I'm ready for the next game. And around the next year, it's about that time for a new Call of Duty to come out. So everybody's hyped and excited, and then they buy the next one. So I guess it makes sense. It's making Activision a lot of money. Me personally, I don't play Call of Duty every year. I personally like Modern Warfare, and I'm not talking about Modern Warfare the game. I mean Modern Warfare in general, like modern weapons, M4s, Scar H's, Scar L's, modern weapons, the whole futuristic stuff. I'm not really that big of a fan. I thought they did good with those games, but I'm just not that big of a fan personally. And when it comes down to the World War II games, I completely skip them. Point blank period, I completely skip every single World War game. I am not interested in old guns whatsoever.
say that both the Smash Pro and the COD Pro were both correct. It's just they were arguing about two totally different definitions, essentially. What it comes down to is the nature of the game and why that game is fun. And you can see where when skill-based matchmaking is overlaid on Call of Duty, because its core gameplay is essentially boiled down to, what we described, that is almost a contradiction in a sense. Now, in general, I think the COD community would say that, hey, maybe a little bit of skill-based matchmaking is fine. It's necessary to keep, like, the actual, like, legitimately disabled gamers and, people that are...
I honestly, just looking at this clip right here. So
Correct. It's just they were
did he get a kill right here?
showing you.
So
I would
he got this kill, right?
say that both the Smash Pro
no,
and the
died.
COD Pro were
But
both correct. It's just they
just look at this play.
were
Right
arguing
he respawns,
about two totally different
kill,
definitions,
and then he looks up. Why does he look up? Because that mini map. Oh shit! I'm in the way. Because of this mini map. This mini map right here is the reason why he looked up. Because he was so focused on the mini map, right? So he stands his ground.
What it comes down
He stands his ground expecting the person to peek because he's shot.
to is the nature of the game
Mini map refreshes. So he
and
repositions.
why that game is fun. And you can
Everybody's so busy looking at that mini map, man. I think that's why I personally like hardcore
see
more.
where
There's no mini map. It's just you and your surroundings.
when skill-based matchmaking is
Slower TTK.
overlaid on Call of Duty
He sees the mini map's gone, so he just continues. Like,
because its core gameplay is essentially boiled down to, what we described, that is almost a contradiction in a sense. Now, in general, I think the COD community would say that, hey, maybe a little bit of skill-based matchmaking is fine. It's necessary to keep, like, the actual, like, legitimately disabled gamers and, people that are extremely low skill. They should still deserve to enjoy the game, too, and should play against people, that aren't going to completely stomp them out. That is absolutely fair enough, and I agree with that. However, and I think most people would say, a little bit of that is fine, but, as SBMM gets stricter is when it becomes a problem. This is where I think we can't really prove it, but I don't think skill-based matchmaking has necessarily gotten much stricter than it has been. But what I do think has happened is the average skill floor of the COD community has gone up. Like, I'm just going to be, rough estimating here, but take a look at this graph. This is basically the point I'm going to make. I think the distribution of player skill back in something like 2012 probably looks something like this. Like, you've got,
what the
an
hell is
absolute
this?
potato on one end, and you have then an unkillable AI robot on the complete other end. And, the average skill for most players probably falls somewhere here in the middle, and that's where most of the distribution is. However, as people have gotten better at Call of Duty over the years, in 2022, that distribution probably looks something a little bit more like this. Like, people in general have gotten better, and that has raised the distribution to the higher end. So my take on that, it's not that skill-based matchmaking has gotten stricter, it's that there are less bad players to even pick from to begin with. And the bad players that it does pick from are much better bad players than, say, like, bad players from 2012 or something. Now, a lot of folks have been presenting what they believe to be the magic bullet solution to all of this, and again, I think the sentiment of is nice, but I think it falls apart under scrutiny. People have been claiming all over my Twitter feed and just in general in the community, like, hey, Call of Duty now needs a casual playlist and a ranked playlist where the people who want to play ranked can go sweat, earn rank, that kind of thing, and then casual is what it says on the box. It's a more casual COD experience, and I think, in theory, all of that should work, just on a...
But what do you mean casual experience? Are you saying like the boot camp system that they had back in Black Ops 1, and I think they had it in Black Ops 2, where you level 1 through 20 or level 1 through 15 are only allowed to play the boot camp? Are you talking about that? Because that shit didn't work. That shit didn't work at all because they already tried that. So what do you mean casual? Like, oh, it's just a mode that anybody can click that says casual? If anybody can click it, then what's the point? Because then AI guy that's having fun with his friends are like, oh man, let's go shoot some casuals. They can literally just go do it. And if you're talking about locking it so they can't do it, they could just make an alt account, play on another account. That doesn't change anything. How is this a magic bullet solution? I don't see it.
on a totally surface level, you would think that would
doesn't
work,
make
but
sense at all.
let's think that through a little
No,
bit.
it
So
doesn't.
I'm not convinced that people would actually play any different in a ranked mode versus a casual mode. When we think about Call of Duty's like core mechanics, the game, if we're being honest with ourselves, isn't all that hard, and people are going to play the exact same amount of sweaty,
Now that he says that, mechanics, that would be the only way that I can see that being a thing. If they were more loose on the mechanics, dude. Okay, so people are gonna fucking hate this take, and that's fine. If you have this casual mode, you put everything in Call of Duty that the COD fans wanted. The slide cancels, the faster rate from switching from your super sprint to fire mode, increase all that so it's casual, it's chaotic, it's fun, right? And then everybody that wants to be pro MLG, esports, all of that stuff in ranked mode is off. And it's just competitive. It's how it is now. The way that everybody hates it, but the pros are going to play because they're pros. They need the money. They like to compete. It's fun. They're going to play the ranked mode. And if you ever want to be ranked, if you ever want to be esports, you have no choice but to practice in the ranked mode, because all your skills in casual mode they're not going to interchange. They're not going to be the same. They're basically going to be different games at that point. And people are going to absolutely hate this take. But it honestly, when you think about it and you literally sit and think about it, it makes sense. Now, for pros, it makes sense anyways. If you want to go pro, if you're thinking about doing seriousness, like you want to be the king of the kings, that's when you go to rank mode and do that. Because they already have rank mode in Call of Duty. And the only difference is there's no kill streaks. So take it a step further, make it more hardcore, less of the cancels or whatever, and make that the casual experience. Go for it. Or you could do the inverse and make it super crazy for the casual experience, and then for normal, just have the restrictions like I said earlier. Whichever you want, whichever. As long as there's a significant difference besides just having ranked and casual as the title, besides that, if you actually change the game, then it will actually make a difference. Because if you just say, oh, this is for ranked, this is for casual, the fuck? That's just a sign. What is that? That's a suggestion at that point, and it doesn't matter. So that's what I would do personally.
say, in either casual or ranked. And also, think about it this way, when people want to, occasionally you want to go in and pub stomp, get big streaks and stuff, those kinds of players that want to go in and pub stomp and dominate, they're all going to come to casual, thus sort of making the casual playlist in this hypothetical world just as sweaty, if not more sweaty than the ranked mode. Like, if Modern Warfare 2 did this, it's not like you would have this magical world of casual where you can go in and it's like this, not sweaty experience. People are trying new things and stuff. That might exist to a small degree, but it's not it wouldn't be what you think it is in your mind. Ranked and casual would play almost identical. I can almost guarantee that. Now, I will say this. I do think having a proper
unless you change the mechanics.
Ranked mode is at least a band-aid solution to all of this. It is by no means a total fix, but it's at least something. But I really do think just separating a casual and ranked playlist is not the magic bullet everybody makes it out to be. Like I said, people are still going to play the exact same way in casual versus ranked, because the same player is not going to play with less reaction time and slower and with less mechanical skill, whether he's playing ranked or casual. You know what I mean? The way that players interact with the game is going to be pretty much the same regardless of ranked or casual. The only difference really, probably ranked would have more team cohesion and stuff, like people would be rolling in packs more versus maybe more solo casual play, but still, that would be the only difference. So as much of a nice idea I think it is to have a casual and ranked mode, and that would just somehow magically fix Call of Duty, I just don't think it's practical. I truly don't think that would even work. No. So this leaves us in an awkward position, because it's like, okay, what is the solution then? Is there a solution for Call of Duty and all this skill-based matchmaking stuff? Now, I said
a solution. So let's hear what Chop's solution is.
Opinion, again, you don't have to agree with it, but because Call of Duty has remained largely the same game for, at least the past decade, the player distribution, like I said, has gone up. People have just gotten better at the game.
Yeah.
The only solution to making the game feel less sweaty and to make skill-based matchmaking, you can't completely knock it out for reasons we just discussed, but it's not like it's really gotten any stricter either. The only solution, I think, is to make Call of Duty a harder game. That is the only thing that would stretch out that player skill distribution again to make it not so like front heavy. You know what I mean? That is the only thing I can think of. But
aren't they already doing that? Like, to a certain extent? Because I saw your last video and you were saying, oh, you want it to be faster. The sprint to fire speed needs to be faster. This and that. It's too slow. Like the HUD stuff you were talking about, the hit marker stuff, I totally can understand and agree. If you can't see your target, you can't shoot the target. I get that. I totally understand that. But when you were saying increase the animation speeds and make it quicker, doesn't that just make the game easier? So now what you're saying, it's like you're saying, yeah, this is what they should do. But you yourself have gone out and said that you don't like that shit. So what's the point? Let me hear his full take.
we have to consider if Call of Duty became somehow a much harder game, would it even be COD anymore? Would it still have the same wide appeal as it does now? That is up for debate, and that's something we're not going to get into. But to me, I feel like, other than that, I'm not going to pretend like I have a solution to this. But the solutions that are being presented right now, I appreciate them for coming out and being a thing. But I do think all of them are fundamentally flawed. Like, there's no easy fix to this, sadly. But yeah, I've been seeing.
So, like, I partly agree. Yeah, make it harder, but make the harder part of Call of Duty in the casual mode or in the ranked mode, and then have the inverse on whichever you want. So if you make it hard and casual, everybody that's hardcore is going to go to ranked. The casuals aren't going to give a shit. They're probably not even going to notice because they're casual. And if they're casual, they're not going to go into rank mode. So if you make casual harder and you make rank mode more the classic Call of Duty style, the fast-paced, quick sprint to fire, everybody will go to rank. And if everybody's in rank mode, they can't complain about SBMM. I think I just solved it. I mean, there's gonna be people that don't like that, and there's people that are gonna be like, well, what if I want to play with my friends in casual? Now casual is hard. So it's casual. If you don't like it, go to ranked. Ranked is faster. It's easier. I don't know. People don't like change anyway. So coming up with a change or a plan or a solution, people aren't going to like it either way. So I guess it doesn't matter.
Seeing a ton of just frustration with skill-based matchmaking in this game. And again, I really think it's valid in Call of Duty. I'm not defending it. I don't think skill-based matchmaking is a fun system in this game for the reason I just explained in this whole video. I would prefer for it to be maybe non-existent, but just at least, very, very loose, if we can put it in those terms. But even so, that still wouldn't totally resolve the fact that most players have just gotten a lot better at the game. Yeah. So even if skill-based matchmaking is looser, the players that it's still going to match you up with are still going to be better, and the game is going to feel more sweaty regardless of the bracket you're in, we'll say. So I brought all this up to say, yeah, skill-based matchmaking is an issue in this game, but I think your frustration is being directed to the wrong place, basically. And that at the end of the day, this is just a hard problem to solve, man. I'm not going to sit here and pretend I have all the solutions to this. I don't think really anybody does, and that's why it's an issue, but
I said what I think would be a good solution. People aren't going to like it, but people aren't going to like, even if it's the best solution, which might not even be mine, the best solution, there's still going to be people that don't agree. There's no such thing as people agreeing on completely everything 100% of the time, right? And I know Chopper is intelligent enough to know that, but hopefully if he does see my take, he can have some type of, we have some type of conversation about it. Because I think my take is good, and since it's my take, I don't have any holes that I can poke into it. The only holes I can poke into is people are going to be upset that casual is too hard, but those are going to be coming from people that want a more casual experience. And if you want a more casual experience, put that casual experience in ranked. And if it's in ranked, well, you can't really complain about SBMM because it's ranked, right? So you have no complaints, or your complaints are invalid because it is in ranked mode. Unless you want to have another mode, one that says casual, one that says ranked, and then one that says intermediate in between. That's the best of both worlds, I guess. I don't know. Like, I guess that would be the most ideal. Have an intermediate mode for people from ranked or casual to go inside. That's like just the flat Call of Duty chaos experience, I guess. Like if ranked is too fast and casual is too slow, bam, we got an intermediate mode, I guess. But it's your boy Mess, man. I guess we'll listen to
But
Chopper.
yeah, I just wanted to give my take on it. Hope you guys enjoyed. Subscribe if you're new to the channel.
Okay, that's Chopper's take. It's a fine take. I don't disagree with Chopper's take. I do think my answer is good. It's probably not the best. Probably somebody could come up with a better answer. But I think my opinion on it is decent. What do you guys think, man? Chopper's video, link down below. Leave a comment in his thing. Tell him I sent you, I guess. I don't know. But with all that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed. Comment, rate, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.